Hello again, friends. Welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode number 16, and this is going to be game one of the Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill Strat-O-Matic baseball tournament, which has the 1961 Detroit Tigers traveling to Ebbets Field to take on the 1953 Brooklyn Dodgers. Let's get to the starting lineups. First for the Tigers, leading off, we got Jake Wood at second base. Batting second, Bill Bruton in center field. Al Kaline bats third. He's in right field. Rocky Colavito is in left field and bats fourth. Norm Cash at first base, bats fifth. Steve Boros at third base, bats sixth. Batting seventh is the catcher, Dick Brown. Chico Fernandez is the shortstop, and he bats eighth. And batting ninth and on the mound is Jim Bunning. He is a number one hitting pitcher, so we will replace his card with the number one pitcher hitting card. Now for the home Brooklyn Dodgers, leading off, we have Jim Gilliam at second base. Pee Wee Reese at shortstop bats second. Duke Snyder in center field is third. Jackie Robinson in left field bats fourth. Roy Campanella, the catcher, is fifth. Gil Hodges at first base, he bats sixth. Carl Ferrullo is in right field, he bats seventh. Billy Cox at third base bats eighth, and batting ninth and on the mound is Carl Erskine, and he is a number three hitting pitcher, so we will replace his card with the his hitting card, or his pitching card with the number three hitting card. All right, Erskine finishes his warm-up tosses. Jake Wood steps up to bat, and we are underway. And we have a 2-7. A 2-7 is a strikeout. There's one away. That brings up Bill Bruton. And that's a 4-4. And a 4-4 is a walk. So Bruton on first with one out. He's an ace stealer. Let's see. On a 1-15, he's safe, but we got to check Roy Campanella's arm. And stealing the catcher one. Now we're going to hold him up. All right, so a man on first with one out for Al Kaline. And that is a 1-4, and he pops out the shortstop. And that's out number two. Bruton holds the first base. Brings up Rocky Colavito. And that's a 3-10. And it's a ground ball to shortstop. He's going to go to short way to second base for out number three. And after 1/2 inning, no score. Jim Bunning out on the mound. Jim Gilliam up in the batter's box. And we have a 4-4. That's a ground ball to third base. And there's one away. Brings up Pee Wee Reese. Have a 5-7. And he strikes him out. It's one strikeout for Bunning. Two away. And here's Duke Snyder. Duke Snyder, a 2-6. That's a single. So Snyder's on first with two away. Oh, and Erskine gets one fatigue point for the first inning. So Snyder on first with two away. Here's Jackie Robinson. Bunning delivers. We have a 2-8, and that's a walk. So it's first and second with two outs for Roy Campanella. We have a 2-4, and that's a single. Now, there is no asterisk there, so we could potentially send Duke Snyder home. And let's see what his running is. So 1 to 16. Nope, we're going to hold him up. Excuse me. Bases loaded. 2 outs for Gil Hodges. So 1-4, he grounds to third base. That's Boros over to Norm Cash for out number 3. And after 1 inning, no score. Go to the top of the second. Norm Cash leads off. Tiger first baseman. Have a 3-7. 1 to 6 is a triple. 7 to 20 is a single. And it's a leadoff single for Norm Cash. Cash is on first. Nobody out. Also, Erskine gets, or excuse me, that was Bunning. Gets 1 fatigue point for the bottom of the first. You have to bear with me. It's been a while since I played Strat. Okay, that brings up Steve Boros with Norm Cash on first base. We have a 3-6. That's a single, 1 to 16. That's a single with 1 base advance. So first and second with nobody out for the Tigers. Brings up Dick Brown, the catcher. Have a 5-9. It's a fly ball to center field B. Batter is out in the flyout. Runner on third scores. Other runners hold. And that's 1 away. Chico Fernandez, the shortstop. Have a 1-8. Lines out to second base. For out number 2. And that brings up Jim Bunning, the pitcher. Have a 6-5. 1 to 3 is a triple. 4 to 20 is a single. It's a single, 2 base advance. So that's going to score Cash. And Boros goes to third with 2 outs. Jim Bunning helps himself out. Picks up an RBI in the process. And the Tigers are on the board. Back to the top of the order. Here's Jake Wood. That's a 6-4. It's a home run 1 to 12 and a double 13 to 20. And that's out of here. And that scores 3 runs. Bunning and Boros both score on that. And Wood picks up 3 RBIs with 2 outs. And that brings up Bill Bruton. Have a 4-9. That's a ground ball to second base. And that'll retire the Indians, but not before they score 1, 2, 3, 4 runs. Middle of the second. It's 4-0 Tigers. And another fatigue point for Erskine. All right, Carvarillo. Got a 2-7. It's a ground out to shortstop. And that's 1 away. Here's Billy Cox. Bunning winds and delivers. And I'm dropping dice. Sorry about that. That's a 5-11. And that's a ground ball to first base. And Norm Cash will take that unassisted for out number 2. Brings up Carl Erskine. And we have a 3-9. And that's a strikeout. So Erskine strikes out. Bunning gets another fatigue point. Oh, actually, Erskine in the second inning, he had 1 fatigue point for the first, 1 for the second, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's up to 6. So he has 6 fatigue points, and he is a starter reliever. This is one area that can be problematic for the Dodgers, because Erskine's probably going to be finished after this inning because he's only a starter reliever. I think they only have actually 2 pure starters. So that's going to be a problem for the Dodgers if they are to continue. All right. So we go to the top of the third. The Tigers leading 4-0. Al Kaline. It's a 2-5, and that's a single. Brings up Rocky Colavito. It's a 1-8. Home run on a 1-14, a double 15-20. It's a 15, so that's a double. And that's going to be second and third, with nobody out and Norm Cash coming up to bat. The Dodgers are getting Bob Milken warming up in the bullpen. All right, because remember, with Erskine being a starter reliever, he only gets 7 stamina points. All right, so second and third with nobody out for Norm Cash. And that's a 1-8. That's a single, 1-8. Line out to second base, 9-20. And it's a 15, so he lines out to second base for the first out. This will be the last batter probably for Erskine. Steve Boros. And that's a 5-6. And that's a double, 1-5, single, 6-20. And it's a single, 2-base advance. It's going to score both runs, or both runners, I should say. Picks up 2 RBIs. And now the Tigers are up 6-0, and that's it for Carl Erskine. So he goes 2 1/3 innings, gives up 6 runs, and he's responsible for Boros on first base. So Bob Milken comes in. He's going to pitch, and he is a pitcher 1, or a batter 1, I should say. So we'll replace his pitcher hitting card with the number 1. That is if he gets up to bat. All right, so we have Boros on first. Milliken's the new pitcher. And be in there. So man on first with 1 out for Dick Brown. It's a 5-7. And he strikes him out for out number 2. That brings up Chico Fernandez. And that's a 4-6, and that's a fly ball to right field for out number 3. But the Tigers score 2 more and now lead 6-0. So that's 1 endurance point for Milliken. All right. Top of the order for the Dodgers, Jim Gilliam. Whoops, sorry about hitting the camera. That's a 5-3, or excuse me, yes, a 5-3, and that's a ground ball to the pitcher, X. So we got to look at the X chart. And all pitchers in the basic game and the Old Timers game are rated 2. So that's a 2, and that is a single. Leadoff single for Jim Gilliam. Man on first, nobody out for Pee Wee Reese. And that is a 4-9. It's a triple 1-3. Single with a 2 base advance for the 20. And it's a 3. That's a triple for Pee Wee Reese, and the Dodgers are on the board. No, that's not right. It's a triple. So Reese is on third. And he gets a triple and an RBI. So man on third with nobody out. Dodgers are on the board. It's now 4-1. Here's Duke Snyder. It's a 5-9. 5-9 is a fly ball center field B. Runner on third scores. So that's a sack. Gets an RBI. And it's now 4-2. Nobody on with 1 out. Jackie Robinson. Yeah, that's a 2-10. That's a ground ball to third base for out number 2. Here's Roy Campanella. Roy Campanella walked in the first inning. That's a 2-12. And that's a fly ball to right field for out number 3. But the Dodgers do score 2, and after 3 innings of play, it's 6-2, Detroit leading. So Bunning gets his 3rd fatigue point. And we go to the top of the 4th, leading off will be pitcher Jim Bunning. Remember, starting pitchers get 11 fatigue points in this tournament to start the game. You lose 1 fatigue point for every inning pitched and every run given up. Okay, that's a 3-4. That's a ground out back to the pitcher. And that go 1-3 for out number 1. Back to the top of the order, and Jake Wood. 6-8. That's a pop out to shortstop. Out number 2. Here's Bill Bruton, center fielder. It's a 4-10. That's a fly ball to center field. Route number 3. So nothing from the Tigers in the top of the 4th. Milliken gets another fatigue point. And we go to the bottom of the 4th with the Tigers leading 4-2. Jim Bunning faces Gil Hodges. We got a 5-6. That's a fly ball to right field. And there's 1 away. Here's Carl Ferrullo. It's a 3-9. And that's a single. So Ferrillo on first with 1 out for Billy Cox. That's a 2-12. That's a fly ball to right field B. Runner holds. Out number 2. That brings up Milliken. He's going to stay in the game. And that's a 1-9, and he strikes him out for the 3rd out. So Carl Ferrillo stranded on 3rd base. And after 4 innings, it's the Tigers 4, the Dodgers 2. Go to the top of the 5th. Al Kaline's leading off. That's a 5-11. It's a catcher's card X. Catcher's card X. All right. And we get a 9. That was a 9. We get a 9 on catcher's card X. Campanella is a 1 on a 9. And that's a pop out. We'll say 2. First out. And there's a 1 away. Here's Rocky Colavito. 6-7. There's a walk. So Colavito's on first with 1 out for Norm Cash. Cash has a single and he scored a run in the 3rd. Or yes, the 3rd? No, the 2nd. Okay, that's a 3-9. And that's a single. Back-to-back singles. Or no, that was a walk to Colavito, but it's 1st and 2nd with 1 out for Steve Boros. And we have a 5-5. Home run 1-16. Double 17-20. It's an 18. So Boros hits a double. That's going to score Colavito. Cash will hold up at 3rd. So he gets an RBI. And the Tigers are now up 7-2. Here's Dick Brown. Runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. We got a 4-8, and that's a fly ball to center field B. Runner on 3rd scores. Other runners hold. So that's an 8 with an RBI. And Cash scores, and that makes it 8-2. Chico Fernandez. That's a 6-9. And he strikes him out. Route number 3. But Tigers pick up 2 more runs. And middle of the 5th. Score is now Detroit 8, Brooklyn 2. Jim Bunning comes back out. And he's going to face Jim Gilliam here in the bottom of the 5th. We have a 3-6, and that's a leadoff walk for Gilliam. Gilliam on first. Nobody out for Pee Wee Reese. Shortstop. That's a 2-8. 2-8's a walk. Another walk. 2 walks in a row. And I have to assign Milliken. Let's see. 1 for the inning and 2 runs, so that's 3. He's at 5 on his endurance points. But the Dodgers have 1st and 2nd with nobody out, and Duke Snyder up at the plate. Bunning has 3, 4 for the innings, 5, 6. He's at 6 on endurance points. Here's Duke Snyder. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. That's a 210, and that's gone. It's a home run. It's out of here. 3-run home run for Duke Snider. Gets 3 RBIs. Clears the bases, and the score is now 8-5. Here's Jackie Robinson. Excuse me. It's a 210. It's a ground ball to third base for out number 1. Roy Campanella. 1 out, base is empty. That's a 2-3. It's a ground ball to short for out number 2. Gil Hodges. It's a 6-2. Catcher's card X. And Brown is a 3 catcher. So we got an 11 on the 3. And he fouls out for out number 3. Let the Dodgers pick up 3 runs on Duke Snider's home run. And after 5 innings of play, the score is now Detroit 8 and Brooklyn 5. Bunning gets 4 endurance points. He only has 1 left, and he's at 10. That's going to, 1 more point, and he will be fatigued. We go to the top of the 6th. Milliken's at 5. He still has 2 endurance points to deal with. We'll see how this inning goes for him. And leading off is Jim Bunning. We have a 1-11, and he strikes him out. 1 away. Top of the order, and Jake Wood, second baseman. Have a 5-11, and it's a catcher's card X again. This is Roy Campanella. He is a 1. And we roll a 20, and that's a foul out. Out number 2. Bill Bruton, center field. That's a 2-6. Double on a 1. 2-20 is a single, and it's a single for Bruton. So he's on first with 2 outs for Al Kaline. 3-8. That's a single with a 2-base advance. So it's first and third and 2 outs for the Tigers. Rocky Colavito steps up to the plate. It's a 5-5. Home run 1-16. Double 17-20. It's a home run for Colavito. That's going to score 3 runs. This is turning into a slugfest. He picks up 3 RBIs. And that's probably going to do it for Milliken. Okay, so that's 3 more. That puts him over the 7. So any X results are going to come from column 4 until we can get another pitcher in for him. And let's see, who are we going to warm up for the Dodgers? Clem Labine, I'm not sure how I pronounce that, but that's who's going to warm up for the Dodgers. All right, so 2 outs, base is empty, and the Tigers are up 11-5. We got a 6-5, a double on a 1-11. Fly ball to center field on a 12 to 20, but it's a double for Rocky Calavito. Or excuse me, that's not right. It's Norm Cash up. So it was a 6-5. I'm going to roll again. 6-4. That's a fly ball to center field for out number 3. But the Tigers score 3 more. And in the middle of the 6th, it is now 11-5 Detroit. Jim Bunning's going to come back out. He still has 1 endurance point, so he should be able to get through this inning. And he's going to face Carl Furillo. And that's a 1-6. That's a ground ball to third base. For out number 1. Here's Billy Cox. And that's a 5-8. That's a single on a 1-4. And a line out to shortstop. For out number 2. Okay, so Milliken is finished. And we're going to have a pinch hitter. And that is going to be going to bring up Bobby Morgan to pinch hit for Milliken. Right. So 2 outs, nobody on. That's a 5-7, and he's and he strikes him out. So nothing from the Dodgers in the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th. The score is 11-5 Detroit. So Morgan is done. And so is Bob Milliken. He's finished. Clem Labine is the new pitcher. And that will be in the 7th. Top of the 7th for Tigers. And it's Steve Boros. So we have a 2-4, and that's a line out to shortstop. And there's 1 away. Here's Dick Brown. Have a 6-6. That's a pop out to short. For out number 2. Chico Fernandez. 4-6. It's a double on a 1-4. Single on a 5-20, and that's a single for Fernandez. So he's on first with 2 outs. And Bunning's finished because he's reached his endurance points. So Tigers are going to bring up the pinch hit for Bunning. Dick McAuliffe. He's a pinch hitter. All right. Man on first with 2 outs for Dick McAuliffe. It's a 2-6, and he strikes out. So nothing from the Tigers in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. with the score Detroit 11, Brooklyn 5. And we got to change pitchers for the Tigers. Bunting is finished for the day. 5 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 runs on 4 hits. So it'll be at the top of the order in the bottom of the 7th for the Dodgers. And coming out the pitch is going to be Hank Aguirre. Let's get the box on Aguirre. Hank Aguirre, bottom of 7th, top of the order. It's Jim Gilliam, first batter to face Aguirre, and that's a 3-8, and that's a single. So leadoff single for Jim Gilliam brings up Pee Wee Reese. Pee Wee's 1 for 3 with a couple runs scored. It's a 1-5, and he grounds out the shortstop. And that's a double play, 6-4-3. For outs 1 and 2. Duke Snider has a home run in this game and 3 RBIs. That's a 1-4. And ground out back to the pitcher, Hank Aguirre. And that's out 3. That'd be a 1-3. And nothing for the Dodgers in the 7th. Aguirre gets 1 endurance point. Levine has 1 endurance point. And comes back out for the top of the 8th. And that's going to be the top of the order, Jake Wood, second baseman. It's a 2-6, and he strikes him out. 1 away. Here's Bill Bruton. He's 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. That's a 1-7, and he pops out to first base. Gil Hodges has that one. There's 2 away. Here's Al Kaline. 3-4. And that's a single. Or excuse me, ground ball back to the pitcher. Sorry about that. P3. Out number 3. Tigers go quietly in the 8th, but still lead 11-5. And Levine gets his second endurance point. All right, Aguirre comes back out for the bottom of the 8th with a comfortable lead, 11-5. And he's going to face Jackie Robinson. And that's a 6-10. That's a single on a 1-15. And he rolls a 12. That's a single for Robinson. He's on first for Roy Campanella. So 4-7, and he strikes him out. 1 away. Here's Gil Hodges, the first baseman. So 4-8. It's a double on a 1-8. And a fly ball on a 9-20. Fly ball to center field B. And the runner holds. So that's out number 2. Here's Carl Ferrullo. And that's a 4-9. That's a fly ball to left field for out number 3. Rocky Colavito's under it, and he makes the catch. So after 8 innings, it is the Tigers 11, the Brooklyn Dodgers 5. Clem Levine comes back out, top of the 9th for the Dodgers, and he'll face Rocky Colavito. And that's a 1-9, and that's out of here. Back, gone. Home run. It's Colavito's second home run of the game, and his 4th RBI. It's now 12-5. Here's Norm Cash. That's a 6-7. That's a ground ball to short. For out number 1. Steve Boros. 3-12. Fouls out to the catcher. For out number 2. Here's Dick Brown, Tigers catcher, and he rolls a 1-7, and that's a ground out to third, 5-3 for out number 3. But the Tigers do get another run on Rocky Colavito's second home run of the game, and they now lead 12-5. A tough hill to climb for the current king of the hill, Brooklyn Dodgers. So Levine gets 2 endurance points. Not that I think it's going to matter here, because this is going to be a tough one for the Dodgers. Leading off is Billy Cox, and we got a 6-10 and a single on a 1-15. Yeah, that's a single for Billy Cox. We are going to pull Levine. And for a pinch hitter. And that's going to be Wayne Bellardi. Pinch hitting in the bottom of the 9th. The man on first and nobody out. Short and endurance point on Aguirre. That's a 6-7, and that's a walk. First and second, nobody out. Top of the order. It's Billy Cox. That's a 2-10. That's a double on a 1-2. It's an 8. It's a single with a 2-base advance. That's going to drive in Billy Cox. Or excuse me, Jim Gilliam. I got to look at this again. 2-10. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher B. I apologize for that. Runner on third scores. Other runners hold. So that's the first out. And that'll be 1-3 for out number 1. Pee Wee Reese. It's a 6-6, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. Bases loaded with 1 out for Duke Snyder, who's already homered in this game. Still some hope for the Dodgers here. Yeah, it's a 6-8, and that's a walk, and he walks a run in. So that's another point for Aguirre. RBI, second, third, and Billy Cox scores on the walk. Base is still loaded with 1 out for Jackie Robinson. Now it's 12-6, 5-9. It's a triple on a 1-3. Single with a 2-base advance on a 4-20. That was an 8. So single for Robinson. That's going to score Reese, and Velarde. And Snyder's going to move to third. So it's first and third with one out. And the score is now 12-8. And Aguirre gets 2 more points. He's up to 5. Here's Roy Campanella. Detroit's going to get another pitcher warming up here in the bottom of the ninth. And that's going to be Jim Hughes. All right, Campanella, a 1-9. It's a home run on a 1-6. It's a 17, and that's a double. Oh boy. So everybody moves up 2 bases. And now it's 12-9. So it's second and third with 1 out. And Jim Hughes isn't quite ready yet. Here's Gil Hodges. We have a 1-4. He grounds to third base. It's ground ball B. Runner on first is out. Batter is safe. Disregard. So it's going to be fielder's choice. Oh, wait a minute. Runner's hold. That's out number 2. I apologize for that. So that was a ground ball to third base. So that's a 5-3 for out number 2. And the Dodgers are down to their last chance with Carl Furillo. Second and third. 2-3, and he pops up to third base. Boros is under it for out number 3. 2, 3, 4. They do pick up 4 runs, but they fall short in the bottom of the ninth. 9 runs. So let's see. Detroit, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12 runs on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hits, no errors. And the Dodgers, 9 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 6 hits and no errors. And the winning pitcher, I'll have to figure that out. Looks like it should be Jim Bunning, and the loser is Carl Erskine. So with Detroit defeating the Dodgers 12-9, Detroit becomes the new king of the hill, and the 1950 Philadelphia Phillies will travel to Detroit to take on the Tigers in game number 2. Brooklyn falls to the bottom of the hill, and we'll have to wait a while to play again. That's going to do it for this episode. If you hung around this long, thanks for sticking it out, and I'll see you again next time. Until then, take care.